Coming up on Tekzilla, we visit the traveling exhibition of preserved human bodies. Anatomy is so cool. Plus, we reveal the hottest new cell phones from the biggest wireless show in the universe. And for Code Red, we got Ted. In this week's episode, which is brought to you by Netflix, GoDaddy.com, and the Enchilada and Burrito Dancing Duo.
Hey, amigos.
Well, hello and welcome to Tekzilla. I'm Jessica Corbin.
And I'm a daddy.
And here is Daddy Tekzilla. How are you?
I'm good. I gotta say though, the biggest thing about parenthood, above the whole sleep deprivation thing, is you start taking, like, you're unpacking some computers, and we want to thank Dell for loaning us our machines on the set. You start taking stuff like this a lot more seriously.
I mean, because I don't. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's that's still stuff that I looked at.
It's a
and
baby
I'm
with a plastic bag over its head, choking
like, who
to
would
death.
do that?
Yeah, well, apparently,
well,
you know, little baby Norton peed all up my arm the first time I changed him, so I'm sure plastic bag play will be later on.
Awesome.
Exciting.
Awesome. Are you doing good though?
Yeah, actually.
People missed you.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, people were pretty stoked. The ladies had some traction.
Good.
Some good things.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you very much. You having fun?
Yeah, Sarah and I had a blast.
Cool.
While you were gone. It was like the kids partying.
But
while
nody
Dad
got,
was away.
I heard there was a near miss
What's
with a
this?
razor
What's-
blade and an iPod.
What's his action? Yes, there was. Because that fix-it thing. I mean, you watched the show, of course, while you were at home with your new child.
And
Of
we'll
course
talk
you
about
watched
the
it.
Hello Kitty AK-47 later on.
Oh, we can talk about that.
We'll talk about that later on.
That. So what do you got right off the top?
Okay, first of all, this is our new favorite guerrilla marketing effort everywhere. You've heard of Firefox, right? It's my favorite browser, not your favorite browser, which is okay. We encourage a multitude of browsers on
Equal
Tekzilla.
opportunity browser lender.
It's a good thing.
Okay.
But this is purely evil, right? So the folks from Mozilla is sponsoring Operation Firefox. We got it on the monitor back there. And the whole idea is you're going to take ever see those fathead stickers?
Yep.
Like, it's usually like an NFL player or a NASCAR or maybe a football on a NASCAR NFL player. Anyhow, you're going to take one of those, post it somewhere in the real world where people can see it. And if you do sort of the best one, you're going to win a grand prize, some amazing stuff. You got to get a fathead Firefox sticker and put it in a notable place. What you're going to do is you're going to submit a plan first, right? So, you know, usually the sticker costs $70. And did you know you could get a giant Firefox sticker? Probably not, because you're not a Firefox nerd.
Well, no, now I do because I've read this whole marketing campaign.
Aha.
So you can get it for $70,
Guerrilla
right?
marketing, right.
Guerrilla. This is like punk rock guerrilla marketing campaign.
This
right?
is like so.
But you can get it for free if they like your plan. It's basically like a blueprint.
So you submit your blueprint, you submit your plan to the Firefox and the website. You know, if they approve it, they get you a big sticker, and then you got to carry out the operation. This is the
Mission Impossible.
Or the Michelin Impossible, as I like to say. You take a picture, send it back to Firefox, remove the sticker, and you can put it anywhere you want at that point. So along with the US, Japan, China, Canada, and New Zealand. So I'd like to apologize to everybody in Europe and the rest of Asia, anywhere else who can't
India,
participate.
sorry about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Operation Mayhem. They just want people out there spreading the word on Firefox. It's evil. And first prize is a MacBook Pro.
Which is going to be really funny when your team is like 5 people.
You and the 9 people that helped you like mount the Firefox logo on the Pan American.
Rochambeau for that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Nintendo Wii for the 3 secondary prizes. That's a little more shareable.
Yep.
And I don't know. It amused me. It
I
excited
love
me.
this campaign. I think it's going to be really effective.
Enough to move to Firefox?
I think we need, possibly. Well, now
Really?
there's more brand awareness. I mean, it's more, yeah, maybe.
You're like marketing
maybe.
girl today.
I know. But I really like this because I love anything that takes like something from the internet and brings it into the real world. I love that, hands
Should we
down.
post one?
I think we need a Team Tekzilla.
The problem is that it says it has to be legal, so that means we can't
Well,
put
then
it.
I'm not interested.
Well,
We can't, it's like, you know, the only thrill about drinking under the age of 21 was that it was illegal.
really?
Yeah.
So you don't drink anymore either?
Nah, I just don't drink as much. I
mean,
drank
I'm
way more
sober,
before
but-
I was 21 than after 21.
We got a question. We got a question here. Patrick, can you do a sub $20 headphone lineup on the show? My $10 Sony earbuds are getting a bit old, and I'm looking for something cheap, says Alex.
Nice. He's
Nice.
honest.
He's
Needs
honest.
it cheap, needs it good.
Well, I got to say, if you can, save up your money and get a pair of Grado 60s. Grado 60s are awesome headphones. They're going to cost you about $7. They're going to look very similar to these. I have about 200,000 miles on these headphones. They've been in backpacks. They've been thrown around
they
the back
look
of the truck.
worn in.
These are beat, but they still sound amazing. Grado makes some of the most amazing headphones you can find anywhere. And my SR60, my wife stole mine. So this is like my second pair. I second my 4th pair of Grado headphones.
Now, I picked these up. I'm like, what are these, your $3 pair of headphones?
Those are $300 Etymotics ER4s. These are the two sets of headphones I'm listening to most right now are actually a pair of Biodan MX DT770s.
See, these are comf.
These are enormously comfortable, and they're closed, which
Yes.
means I can play them in the office without having Jim or Sarah or Heather or anybody else in the office
really
throw
disturbed
stuff at
by
me
you.
for being really loud with my music. These things sound phenomenal,
Yeah.
and they should. They're about a $200 pair of headphones.
Now, I have a question.
Okay.
If these were on the side of my head, I would totally look like Princess Leia.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're
right?
my only
I would
hope.
totally look like Princess Leia.
You know, there's some people...
I can't hear you because they're so good. I can't even hear you.
Nice. Actually, you know what? I've used these when I was grinding because these are amazing.
Grinding?
Well, like grinding steel.
Oh, okay.
When these things get stuffed, you know, halfway to your brain through your ear canal, what's amazing about the Etymotics is they do like 37 decibels of attenuation, so you can't hear anything outside of you.
Yeah.
It's kind of spooky on a jet because you can feel the jet, but you
Yeah.
can't actually hear the engines. Anyhow,
$20 headphones.
$20 headphones. So I'm looking behind. I'm thinking we're going to, you know, Target, Walmart. I'm looking behind the counter at Walgreens, and I keep seeing things like Maxell or like it's some brand that's like it'll be like Polaroid headphones. Like Polaroid doesn't exist, but it has brand recognition.
Right.
You were in marketing mode
Yep.
earlier. So people take the Polaroid logo and they put it on some cheap thing they found, you know, manufactured offshore, and they sell it because people go, Polaroid. I had a Polaroid camera.
Trusted brand. I'll buy it.
Sure, except it's not very trusted
Right.
anymore. So I'm racking my brains, but because when I bought $20 headphones, it's because I'm in an airport and about to get on a plane, and I buy whatever
Or
they
you're
have.
15 and you have no money.
Which lasted until I was like 25. That's a whole other conversation.
Totally.
Hey, I was an English major. I flipped a lot of pizzas. It's a long story. But then I remembered Headroom. Headphone.com, the folks at Headroom, all they do are headphones. So if you go up to their webpage, it's pretty amazing. They've got their selection guide. You can go through by budget. These people live for headphones. And check it out, under $40. And one of the ones they really recommend, Sennheiser's MX400, and I trust the recommendations. They sell everything from $10 headphones to like $10,000 headphones. These
For
people
real?
are out of control. Headphones,
Wow.
headphone amplifiers, bags to
Right.
transport
I mean,
stuff.
Sennheiser, good brand.
Costs you are 20s. I've heard those, not too bad. They're $25, a little above your budget, Alex, but I gotta say, if you can stand it, if you can save up the money, $50 to $70, you can really open up your options. And my personal favorite, Grado's SR60s sound amazing. They're open air headphones. They've got a lot of oomph. They've got a lot of kick. They've got beautiful low end for rock and roll and jazz. I'm getting passionate about headphones.
You're starting to move.
Yeah, Jessica's
You're
like,
starting to move.
step back. Scary man talking about headphones. But we're going to say, if you've got a $20 headphone recommendation, a cheap headphone recommendation, tell us where you found them, how much you paid for them. Email us at tekzilla@revision3.com.
Totally helpful, P. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so coming up, we meet up with the minds behind the creepy and fascinating Body Worlds exhibition. But first, let's find out what Heather, our producer, chose for her pick of the week.
So it's Halloween morning, and I'm standing out in front of Isotope Comics in San Francisco, awaiting their latest delivery. He's about to open the doors. I snuck out of work so I could come and get my copy of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8 in graphic novel form. Come on. In the 7th and final season of the hit television series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which ended in 2003, the Sunnydale Hellmouth was destroyed and the world was forever changed. Now, Joss Whedon and Dark Horse Comics bring Buffy the Vampire Slayer back from the dead with Season 8 in graphic novel form. The Long Way Home is a 126-page compilation of the first 5 issues, where Buffy, her Scooby Gang, and hundreds of other Slayers are shacked up in a castle fighting ever-present evil. But this time, the evil lives inside Buffy's dreams. Buffy's in danger. Will Willow and Xander and the rest of the gang save her? I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to find out for yourself. Crap! I'm late for a meeting!
We sent our producer Neha Tewari to check out Body Worlds 2, the anatomical exhibition of real human bodies. It sounds totally gross, but actually it's pretty neat. Take a look.
I'm standing in front of the Tech Museum of Innovation here in sunny San Jose, California, and I gotta tell you, I am psyched. And that's because I'm about to check out the Body Worlds 2 exhibit inside. Let's go check it out. Now I'm here with Dr. Wally, who is the creative and conceptual director of Body Worlds. Now, how did you guys conceive of this idea?
Well, first and foremost, the idea of plastination, the preservation technology that is behind it, was not necessarily meant to teach the laity. It was meant to enhance teaching anatomy at university, and much later on we found out that the lay people are even much more interested in our specimen than the student would be.
Right, for us it's a special treat to see these things that only would be seen in a lab. I'm here with Georgina Gomez, who is the Director of Development with Body Worlds. Could you explain the process of plastination to me?
Sure. The plastination process was invented by Dr. von Hagens at the University of Heidelberg in Germany in 1977. And what it is basically, it's a process that removes all the liquids in the body, so all the fluids and soluble fat, and replaces it with plastics in the body. And it kind of happens through a vacuum exchange process, so that the specimens actually stay rigid and can be preserved in lifelike poses without the use of glass barriers or formaldehyde.
How long does this process usually take?
It really depends on the kind of dissection that we apply and the size of the specimen. On a full body specimen, on an average, we work a year.
How about the poses? I think that's one of the most interesting things, to see how they're posed.
This is something that we had to learn from our visitors, because being anatomy teachers, we were trained to put specimens in anatomical correct and straight position, but we understood that it frightens our visitors because they are not used to look at dead bodies, and so we learned that our specimens need, first of all, to be appealing. They need to look beautiful, and first and foremost, they need to be in a very natural and lifelike position so that our visitors can identify themselves with what they are looking at. So when you are a soccer player, for instance, of course you are much more intrigued to find out what muscles exactly make the ball score.
Now I know that we have a lot of different textures involved outside and inside. Is there a different type of polymer or compound that's used with each, or?
We are using indeed quite different polymers depending on the kind of specimen we want to finally achieve. This specimen, for instance, is totally impregnated with the silicone rubber. But if we want to, for instance, show the brain structure more detailed, we use a polyester copolymer because it differentiates a lot better than when using silicone.
This is slice plastination, which is basically using an epoxy resin, which is harder and really allows a transparent view of the body, so you can see how the organs are situated inside, and gives a quite different view from the other types of plastination we've been seeing.
These are actually casts of arteries, so all the tissue is gone, and what we are looking at is a corrosion cast just of the tiny arteries and capillaries. And to me they represent, although no tissue is there anymore, they represent the beauty of the body, the anterior most. And can you imagine that all the tissue, the muscles, they still need to fit in, although that's so tight with the tiny arteries? I think this is so fascinating.
It really shows how we're built in such a fundamental way. One of the cool things that I see here is that all these specimens aren't exactly healthy.
No, I think that's one of the main teaching factors that you can find when you're going through the Body Worlds exhibit, is because these are real human bodies, and some of them are healthy, some of them are diseased, some of them show organs that show disease. There's smoker's lung, non-smoker's lung. You could compare them and see how the size differs, how the coloration difference inside the lungs, and you can really see the impact of these elements on the organs of the body.
And I saw that there was an artificial knee, very common surgery that happened.
Orthopedic implants in the body are shown. There's, healthy hearts, diseased hearts. So really the body in all shapes and forms is shown. One of the unique things about this exhibit, and one of the most remarkable things about this exhibit, I feel, is that it chronicles life from the beginning through old age, and you can see really how it changes. So we have a fetal development section, which basically shows life from the womb through birth.
What do you think other people take away from seeing all these specimens displayed in the way that they are?
I'm totally convinced that it changes people's mind of themselves. They have a quite different understanding of what they are made of. They have a much better understanding of their bodily functions and how fragile it is. This you can experience every day when you look at visitors' reaction and look into our visitors' box, the comments, and all the letters that we get from visitors who really feel inspired after seeing the exhibition to care better for their bodies.
That's great. Thank you so much for showing me and the rest of the viewers of Tekzilla all about Body Worlds 2.
Thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
My goodness, that was amazing. And I gotta say, although I gained a lot of knowledge up here, I definitely lost my appetite. All I know is I'm not touching lunch meat for a long time.
I am totally jealous. I wish I could have gone.
Did you see the first one?
No.
It's the most amazing. I think it's like the closest I'll ever get to a medical degree, because you think about dissecting bodies. It's like somebody flays a body and lays it out for you.
Yeah. I mean, I remember coming upon this and being like, I would never go to that, ever, ever, ever. And then I went to the website to check it out a little bit more, and I'm like, this is actually phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Amazing. If you get a chance to see it, you definitely want to. Bodyworlds.com, and you can sign up to donate your body to Plastination.
I mean,
do you want to donate your body for Plastination?
It's like, I mean, I don't have the. I actually would, especially if I could decide what pose I'm going to be in.
So if you were like discus hurling or something.
Or disco.
I like it. You can just basically go to the page, click on the body donation link, download the consent forms. I don't think it's morbid. I think it's fun. I believe in giving your body to science. I believe in,
absolutely.
Like, organ donor, you got the pink dot on your card?
Yes, I do.
That's why we ride motorcycles.
So other people might have a chance.
To see or have a better heart. Or you'll have a better heart. I have a heart of sorts. Coming up.
Need a motherboard battery replacement? We'll show you how to do it yourself. But first, halt all ye Googlers. The next time you're looking up llamas, try out Hakia.com. Part of the new school of search engines, Hakia.com claims to be a smarter way to find answers to your burning questions on the internet. By using something they call semantic search, the site returns answers based on the word's meaning rather than the popularity of search results. This site is one of many Google challengers. Mahalo.com has a similar human-powered search, and Swoogle is another meaning-based engine. In any case, if you're looking for a place that claims to operate more like your brain, check out Hakia.com.
Okay.
Whoa! It's like, I was just about to come out, Patrick. Come on, continue.
Okay.
Let it go.
Bad week for time at the Norton House. Okay, we're doing the sleepless, feeding the baby thing.
Right.
My cell phone doesn't have the OS for my cell phone. I want to thank Microsoft. Apparently, doesn't have an upgrade for the daylight savings time changes that took place in 2007. So like 3 days, a week early, I'm changing my phone.
Right.
Then I'm restarting my computer, and it keeps setting back to like 2004. I'm like, what's up with that? So then I realized that the battery on my motherboard was dead.
Got it.
In case you know, if you got a PC or a Mac for that matter, chances are there's a battery on the motherboard that keeps the clock running and keeps the BIOS settings in place.
Dude, this is actually opening up a whole world to me, because that's what just happened on my laptop.
Is it annoying or is it annoying?
I haven't even figured it out. I mean, literally in real time right now, you're like telling me what has been up with my computer.
Oh, it's so far like
it's a battery issue.
Well, you go to log into a secure website, and all of a sudden your browser's like, you know, the certificate for this website takes place at a future date, and you're like, huh?
Exactly, that's what's been going on.
It's so annoying.
Oh, this is great.
It's
okay,
really
tell me.
easy to fix. Okay,
great.
If you're like, with your notebook, it's going to be a little harder, right? Because we're going to have to figure out how to go inside your notebook to do that. With a PC, it's usually pretty easy. Almost all the time, 90% of the time, it's what they call a 2032 battery. It's like a flat, you know, watt-style battery.
Like a nickel.
Yeah, these are like $4. You can pick them up in a 2-pack, maybe $6 for a 2-pack at your local drugstore, supermarket, anywhere they sell hearing aid batteries, or just regular battery racks. So we're going to pop one of these out. So you hold on to that.
Okay.
Okay. To get it out, there's usually 3 different ways to do these. They're usually almost always either that right in there, which has a little side trigger on it. So I'm going to lay this back down. We're going to push that to the side, and it's going to pop the battery out. Okay. So I'm going to lay this down for a moment, because if I don't, the battery will shoot out and get lost permanently in the fan on my graphics card. So we've just flipped that out.
And it flipped out very delicately. It wasn't like it.
It was fun. It was fun.
That was nice.
So you want to actually pop the one in place?
Okay.
So we have the new battery in place. The positive is usually going to be on the top. And just go ahead and poke it right in there. Ta-da.
Oh, Oh.
So then when you restart it, you're going to have to go in the BIOS,
Yes.
right, which is usually delete or F2 or some combination, and you're going to have to reset the time. It'll give you instructions for resetting the time in there, and when you restart your machine forever and ever, or at least until the battery runs out again, you're good to go.
But I mean, the batteries last for a ridiculous amount of time, which is why when this sort of thing happens, it's like,
Yeah.
it kind of, you forget.
Oh, it's annoying. It's,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. This one lasted, I guess, 4 years. The first battery lasted for 4 years. And actually, to say, if you do have a motherboard that doesn't have that, we're going to have to look up. I'm not sure where we're going to find the answer because you have a MacBook Pro, right?
Yeah.
We'll look up on the MacBook Pro later.
Okay.
We have a really good webpage from Hardware Secrets. If it doesn't look like a coin or you can't buy the battery, it's probably like a little nickel metal hydride pack, which is like a little stack of lifesavers with a piece of plastic wrapped around it. Or they have like CMOS style batteries, which look like an IC chip that plugs in. Go to hardwaresecrets.com. We got a link up on the webpage, and they have a great article that helps you identify these batteries and replace them on your motherboard.
Awesome.
Sounds good?
Awesome.
And we're going to figure out how to replace the battery in your
You're
MacBook.
a freaking magician.
Well, I get frustrated. I figure out how to fix things. It's just all it is.
Love it. All right, so our CEO and gadget guru, Jim Louderback, went to the CTIA, that is Cellular Telecommunications and Internet Association Wireless
dog.
Convention, the place where you can find the latest in cell phone and wireless technology.
It's called CTIA, or the Cellular Telephone Industry Association, and it's a big trade show all about, well, cell phones. So come here, what do you want to see? You want to see the new phones, and that's what I got. Stop by Samsung first. This is the new Blackjack. Got to turn it on. It's the follow-on to the Blackjack, Blackjack 2, available by the end of the year. The keyboard's a little different. They claim it's got all kinds of wacky video stuff in it, and it's a Windows Mobile 6 phone. Nice and thin, good if you want to carry your work around in your pocket. If you want to carry a little bit more than your work around in your pocket, that's what this one is. I probably have it upside down. The i760. There we go. It's going to be on Verizon. Slides up to reveal a nice keyboard right here. It's pretty cool. Also runs Windows Mobile 6, and it's got a video camera. Buttons up here work. All the buttons work. Again, this is available for Verizon right now. A little MP3 player, and it's also, yes, that's right, because it's CTIA, a phone. Slides open, listen to your music, talk on the cell phone, do this and that. This is also coming out pretty darn soon, and it's Verizon too. And finally, if you want to go to Walmart and you like Beyonce, this is a special limited edition Sprint Beyonce phone. It's available now or coming soon, and there's only 6,000 of them, so you better get over to Walmart right away if you want one of those. That's what Samsung's got. Let's go over and see some of the cool new stuff that LG has. Also, believe it or not, phones. So I'm here at LG with their latest phones, and you know, keyboard phones definitely are hot. LG has this one, which is a touch screen on the top. It's really very cool. It's called the Voyager. I'm going to open it up so I can use these shortcuts and attach to stuff there. But let's say I really want to do some email. I can take it and open it up, and then I have access to a full-on keyboard. Feels really good. Very easy to move around and get access to stuff in a actually reasonably small package. This is called the Rumor, and the neat thing about this is it's a nice little phone. You can see right here, but it's a flip-out phone right here. It sort of slides out. The keyboard slides out like the Helio Ocean. $80 phone, which is pretty inexpensive, and it's designed for kids to be able to do their sort of clicking around and I guess send rumors back and forth to each other with IM. This little $80 phone is going to be available for Sprint pretty soon towards the end of the year. And finally, chocolate was a big hit for them, so why not come out with the chocolate too? Again, about 80 bucks and available now. Came out this summer, but the sliders and the keyboards all seem to be really big here at LG this year. Inexpensive keyboard phones are definitely all the rage, and Palm, who kind of led the way with the first real usable keyboard phone with the Trio, is no different. They've got their Centro, and that's this right here, and it is a $100 phone. The keyboard, this keyboard, you gotta have tiny little fingers for this keyboard. It's one of the smallest keyboards I've seen. Maybe it's for little kids, I don't know, but at $100 with a nice little touch screen right here, it's not a bad idea. I kind of like that, but the fact that you can get a $100 little phone like this that works pretty well is really nice, because Palm makes some of the best software out there. And this thing is nice, it feels good, and you know, I hope they're successful with this, but I wouldn't want to type too much on this keyboard. Take a look at this. This is the Touch, and they've kind of used some of the finger gestures that you may be familiar with from the iPhone. Move your finger up like this, and it brings up some of the different things you can do with it. Move across, it's called a cube, and you see the different things sort of roll back and forth and take you through where you want to go. And if you want to close it, you just go like that and it goes back to its main screen. No keyboard on it, but it's a nice sort of pocket-sized device available for Sprint. So the last phone I got here in my pocket is the Tilt, also from HTC, $299, available now from AT&T. Looks like your normal phone, but it's one of those slider phones. We've seen a lot of these keyboard sliders. I like it because it's got a little bit more headroom when you're thumb typing, you don't bump up against it. But it's called the Tilt because yes, that's right, it tilts. So Motorola finally coming out with a phone that doesn't need to buy a vowel. This is the follow-on to the Pebble. It's the U9. And it's got this cool little animation right there on the screen. It's an OLED screen. It's really neat. It's nice and red and little, but you open it up and yep, it's a phone. Comes in a couple different colors. Available by the end of the year. They're not saying what platform yet, but U9. I like it, and it's very cool looking. So now Motorola also taking the bling train with the Razr as they try and drive the Razr down as far as they can go. This is the Lux, and as you can see, it's got sort of this faux gold look on it. You turn it around and it's got kind of a faux snake skin on the back. It actually looks cool, it feels cool, and it's wicked thin, but man, how many Razrs can you buy?
So are you down with the Bootylicious phone?
Just back that phone up.
Back that phone up is right.
I'm gonna dump my iPhone, get my Beyonce phone.
Totally. I mean, what would it take? Would it take like $50, $100?
You know,
$5,000?
I'm cheap, but I'm not that cheap.
No, I'm wondering how much it would take to get you to carry that around.
Keep stacking them hundies down.
Because I might figure that out.
It's like QWERTY slide-out keyboard
Yeah, well, I'm on the QWERTY keyboard because I still have the BlackBerry Pearl. I'm rocking that. Still like it. Like the QWERTY keyboard.
That phone.
Love it.
Love that phone.
I love it. It's just a stand-up phone.
You and Roger Chang.
I know.
Rocking the Pearl.
Hi, Roger Chang. Yeah, totally love it.
Coming up next, is it?
It is time. It's time for Code Red. Sponsoring this episode of Tekzilla is Netflix. If you like high def, you can get both HD, DVD, and Blu-ray movies and shows. Get a free trial of them by signing up through a site they set up just for us at netflix.com/Tekzilla. And now it's time for Code Red. On this Code Red, I'm going to admit something very near and dear to my heart. I am in love with TED. TED.com, that is, and TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. It is an exclusive annual conference that started in 1984 in Monterey, California, and now brings together the world's most fascinating people who are challenged to give the talk of their lives in just 18 minutes. So topics of discussion include tales of invention, what's next in tech, bold predictions and stern warnings, spectacular performance. It's all on the site, and this site makes the best performances and talks available to the public for free. So some of my favorites have included Jeff Skoll, who spoke on this topic called making movies that make change. So Jeff Skoll, the founder of eBay, he went on to create a production company that has produced films like The Inconvenient Truth and North County, things that more have like a progressive social twist to it. I watched this little podcast in Hawaii when I was on vacation. It brought me to tears. I loved it so much. Another one that is absolutely worth watching, Dan Gilbert, Why Are We Happy? Why Aren't We Happy? This is a PhD grade scientist that has looked at the brain, and he really shows you how you can kind of hone in on happiness. This next one, Serena Huang, dazzling set done by an 11-year-old violinist. She is unreal. You guys have got to take a listen to her. And then midway through her performance, she kind of breaks down in this speech about frequency and sound. She's 11 years old, enough to just blow your mind. And there's other amazing talks on there, all of which are going to offer you something new to chomp on. And a new way of thinking, really. So if you're thinking now that, boy, I really want to go to that conference, good luck, because you have to be A, invited, and B, you got to be a leading thinker and doer. And if you are, you got to make sure your application is in at least a year in advance, because the conference totally fills up. So all that for you guys. That is this week's Code Red. Hey, Patrick. So I hear we have a Hello Kitty correction to make.
Yeah.
And they keep beating up on Brittany.
Brittany can't get a break. There's a good Matthew McConaughey picture for you.
Oh.
Glamguns.com. And we actually need to point out, glamguns.com. So remember the Hello Kitty AK-47? You were upset. You were Energized.
I'm not upset right now. Anyway, yes, the
You
Hello
look
Kitty.
at Matthew.
The Hello Kitty gun. I was just perplexed.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a parody site.
Yes.
It's a parody site put together actually by a female U.S. Army veteran who basically, you know what, it's the best thing. If you go to aboutglamguns.com, and look at that, founded by a female U.S. Army veteran known only as Glambo, glamguns.com was put together to mock stereotypes of women.
Right.
Basically, the whole pink is pretty. But
Right.
it's funny, if you go into the main menu, check this out. We got the Hello Kitty AK-47, the Lady Di handgun, My Little Carbine, based on My Little Pony, one of my personal favorites, Martha's Mind, Hilton handcuffs. I don't even want to go there.
Care Bears.
Yes, you have the Care Bear body armor. So I go in here, I add it to my cart. Okay, I've added an item to my cart, and I click on my Glam cart. So it's like I'm purchasing here, and I go to the checkout button, and it takes us to... The internet's a little slow. There we go.
It takes us to...
An Amazon.com purchase page for a book about 20th century art forms, a theory of parody.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. She's smart.
She's smart.
She's smart.
She's undermining the paradigm.
What's her name again?
The
Glam Gun. Okay, Glam Gun
Glambo.
Lady, I just want to make a formal invitation if you ever want to come on here and talk to us. We're
we
here.
can email her.
And we might email.
We might email.
Okay.
her. Anyhow, on to some email in
Let's
there.
do some email.
I just thought the parody thing was great.
All right, so I have a weird sized living room. The only place I can have my TV with surround sound is in front of the fireplace. If I mount the LCD above the fireplace, will the heat from the fireplace cause any sort of damage to it? Eric B. from Charlottesville, Virginia.
You know what I'd worry about more than damage to the screen?
The angle of the
viewing angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, spend 2 hours staring at the spot above your. I mean, normally you want your HDTV, your television, your computer monitor. You want your eyes to be sort of dead centered on the monitor, right? This is great. So we're standing up, and that's at the right height.
Right. So your fireplace, if your fireplace goes any higher than this.
Well, if you're going to stand up and watch the television above your fireplace, you're fine. But if you're sitting in a couch, you're probably looking like this, and it's going to hurt your neck.
Right.
It's going to get really bad.
Right.
It sounds like a good idea until you stare at it for a couple hours. More importantly, though, you know, to take a step back from the whole viewing angle thing, the size, the type of fireplace, how it's constructed, how old it is, how it's ventilated, those are all going to impact whether or not you should mount an HDTV above it, right? So if you can if you've got like a reclining couch, so you're good with the angle, HDinstallers.com is a really good article on this. It says put a thermometer where the television would be mounted. Fire up a typical fire, you want to get a hot fire going there, and basically take a look, you know, is there any smoke leaking out in front of the fire? Do the vents, how hot does it get? If it gets much above 90 degrees, which is a typical temperature and operating temperature that, you know, if you look in the HDTV manual, like page 47 in the fine print, you know, if it doesn't get much warmer than 90 degrees, or if you can put your hand above the fireplace where you mount the HDTV and it doesn't feel too hot, you're probably okay. The truth is a lot of people just are like, you know, there's smoke issues, there's heat issues. If there's a lot of heat escaping out of the front of your fireplace, it's not going to do.
Here's the other option. Don't use your fireplace with the whole heat thing, and just get a bunch of heat dishes. Or get really cuddly. Okay.
And definitely never above a wood stove.
Never above a wood stove.
Never above a wood stove.
Yes, okay, got it. All right, number 2. With all the talk of AT&T messing with BitTorrent traffic, what's the safest way of downloading? Should we be using a client that allows encryption? From Doug.
This is a great question. First of all, I had no idea AT&T was starting to hammer on stuff, because I've been reading all over the place. The Associated Press did a story about Comcast basically blocking sharing of files using BitTorrent. They're still letting you download stuff, right? But if you try to share a completed download, it blocks it or prevents it. They have all these spoofed BitTorrent clients out there, which is really weird because you can use BitTorrent to share stuff legally. AP, I believe, was using a copy of the Bible that was legal and open source. People use it to share, you know, software distributions, software updates. There's all sorts of legal stuff you can do with BitTorrent. So a whole bunch of people in Congress and I believe the Senate are getting upset and starting to go after Comcast for blocking people's ability to use the network they pay for. Now, Doug, to answer your question, encryption isn't going to help because the people that are out there, you know, hunting down, you know, file sharing is, first of all, if you don't share files, right, if you don't allow people to download files from your system, copyrighted files, generally speaking, they're not going to touch you. If you're a leecher and you just download, you're not going to get touched. However, if I have an encrypted client and you have an encrypted client, I can probably see your IP address, and the IP address and the files you're sharing, the copyrighted material you're sharing is all they need to put a court case against you. The only way to stop being sued is to not share content from your system. You know, is there a chance of you getting caught? It's pretty
I was just going to ask
minuscule.
you that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But
basically,
it's still a risk.
hey, it's a risk, and by the way, you're stealing. Somebody else
Right.
made this and created this and distributed it, and you've decided you deserve it for free. That sounds a little sleazy to me, but I make my living off of, I make
Right,
video.
you're a writer.
I want to get paid. I
Yeah.
make, I write stuff. I want
Right.
to get paid for my work. So do the people who make music, and so do the people who make movies.
Got it.
So do us a favor, don't be a slime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, email number 3. I have to say that my Apple keyboard's USB connector fits perfectly in my PC's USB port, so no adapter is needed. From Richard from the UK and about 400 other folks.
Yeah, I think I was on crack that day. Though some folks have had problems using the Apple keyboard extension cable with stuff other than the keyboard plugs in just fine with PCs.
So that's basically a correction on our part.
Yeah, or my part, I should say.
Or Patrick's
Apparently, I didn't know how to use a USB plug.
All right, you guys, that's it for emails. And if you would like to write us, our email is tekzilla@revision3.com.
And check out our discussion forums at revision3.com/forum and scroll down to Tekzilla.
Now, I think it's been a great show, and it's now time to say goodbye. To see you all next week, I'm Jessica Corbin.
I'm Patrick Norton.
Bye-bye.
Big thanks to GoDaddy for reaching out and sponsoring Tekzilla. If you want to make an impact online, do it with GoDaddy.com. .com names as low as $1.99, plus world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and much more. Enter code TEK5, TEK5, when you check out and save an additional $10 off any order of $40 or more. Coming up,
we have... Sorry, I didn't pick up on that.
coming up,
Need a motherboard, brat?
coming up.
Need a bat? And now it's time for Code Red. What happened?